Yes, he's when he does that, he's basically emphasizing so that the other people can see the main points in the sentences. You have anything more you want to say about those three aspects of it?
Well, I just think it's a very well-structured document. Even trying to put it in my own words, a lot of it, I was having trouble even, keeping all the just amount of power in those words that Patrick had used in that letter. But I mean, just my personal rule of thumb is that each sentence that I would send out, I ought to have it backed up with, refer it back to another document. For example, like the part 1 talks of the Constitution. So I have my copy of the Constitution. I know what section and paragraph to refer to what he's talking about there, so I can prove my case to that point.
Okay. So you're annotating yours with sites?
I'm just making sure I have references to the documents or the contracts to back up the claims being made.
Okay, so you're doing it for yourself, but not sending it in.
Right. Yeah, I've yet to send it in. I'm trying to get it structured in my own words without just.
Well, we're gonna have some refinements of this, good refinements to it tonight.
All right.
How many you got on there now, Tom?
We have 11.
Okay.
And I've started the recording.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and start here.
I've already started. Go ahead.
Now I want you guys to participate in here, okay? I'm getting tired of this one-man show out here. One guy does all the work, and then basically you guys just sit back there and don't say anything. Don't ask any questions. I mean, you got me right here now. Ask me the damn questions. You want the substantiation of where I found this? I'll give it to you. You don't have to go and do all the research yourself. I've done a lot of the research. I can guide you right to it.
Great.
I mean, damn, use me if you want. If I'm here, okay?
Will do.
But I'm not going to be here forever, and I'm voluntarily allowing you to use me. Now, the whole deal in the commercial world out here is you have to volunteer, and everything. They only operate on credit and debt. They don't have real substance. So they have to have their letters of credit in place. They get you to deposit the credits in under those letter of credits, like at your checking account, your savings account. Those are really letters of credit. Everything they do is a letter of credit. So, in that regards, when I was going back over the document again, and I sent it in, and they got it yesterday, okay? But I didn't hear anything from them. So I knew there had to be something possibly wrong from all the faxes and everything I sent out. What's wrong? Well, that other document that I was doing to make a letter of credit and deposit it with the bankruptcy court, there was two major things wrong. One, we do not give any letters of credit, period. We have access to the real substance that's in the Treasury, and that's under a letters patent. Now, I addressed the letters patent in my document, trying to get the credits out of the letters patent into the letters credit. No means to transfer from one to the other. So I said, why in the hell do I need this letters credit? I'll just go straight to the letters patent. So that's what I did. We've got the name that's on the letters patent. Okay? And he's the bailor. We are not the bailor. We are the owner of the bailor. Okay? And then we have a bailor's letters patent number, accessing number to the Treasury. Is what we have to do is voluntarily revoke all letters of credit and claim our letters patent. Put that on file with the court. So we go to not the bankruptcy court, we go to the federal clerk of the court for the district, the clerk of the court of the courthouse, the federal courthouse side. And then basically send it to them, and either they hold it or basically it is to be directed to the U.S. Treasury Exchange Office, which, lo and behold, would be the chief financial officer of that courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Where else would we want it to go to? We'd want it to go to the chief financial officer of that bank. And that courthouse is nothing but a bank. It's a governmental bank that has access to the Treasury. But they can't access it as government employees. We have to give the key. It's like a safety deposit. This letter's patent. And we come in and we sign for our bailor. We sign his full name. In my case, Patrick Devine. I am the living. I don't have a last name yet. I am Patrick of the family Devine. I don't even have a middle name. But I am the bailor's owner. Okay?
Yep.
And that's what you are. You're the bailor's owner. And we're making this a special deposit in the form of a certified mail deposit. Because when you certify mail something, you are depositing it, and you're getting confirmation of the deposit when they have to sign for it. You can go the extra step and put the green card with it if you want to. But the post is going to make them sign a document that they received it. Somebody, their authorized agent, received that document. So now it's deposited. And you have a deposit number. That is the number you're going to reference on your U.S. Patent Bailor's Letters Patent Draw document. I'll be sending these updated copies over to Tom in the morning when I go over to my mom's. Okay? And I also added a owner's confirmation onto that document, that draw, and then we sign it as the owner's confirmation that you just signed your first and middle name. Then you put your thumbprint. Now, if you have the 2 out of 3 embossers that I told you get a couple years back, you would emboss it. And then, see, that's the medallion. And you are royalty, because this letters patent is a royal patent. It's a royal grant from the sovereign, the United States of America, the land. You are the sovereignty or the prince of the land, like I said. So you are the royalty of the land. So it's a royal patent. It's not a government grant patent. And see, confirmation of that is basically, when did they give it to you? When you were of 1 full year of age. Your 1-year anniversary from the date of your conception. That is your real birth, B-E-R-T-H, date. 90 days after the date you were born into your mother's arms. Which normally about after 3 months, she gets started lugging you around and throws you down on the ground and says, start crawling around. So now you've been placed upon the land. And then you're into every damn thing out there, underneath the sink, into all the and everything else, trying to check everything out. You just become a pain in the ass. And you've constantly been a pain in the ass ever since. Because nobody out here really went and tried to find out the real truth and put in the time that was needed. You'd go so far, and then you'd sort of give up. And then you'd wait for somebody else to do something.
I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink.
And then in half the cases, people would look in the wrong damn place. You're not going to find the answer in their damn laws and records. You've got to look elsewhere. You've got to understand the words. The one document you should try and understand is the Constitution, and nobody has a damn proper understanding of that damn Constitution.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes.
Are not quite a few of their they also own quite a few of the dictionaries as well?
You're breaking up.
Don't they own quite a few of the dictionaries as well?
Yes, you got to go through several different dictionaries and try and find out which one is going to tell you the truth. Bouvier's is basically a deceptive dictionary because it's strictly for the commercial side. They ain't going to tell you anything if the attorneys are using it. They don't want the truth exposed. That's where you've got to look at some of these things. Are they really telling me the truth? And then you go to several different dictionaries, and then you also go to a dictionary that's not a law dictionary and look up the difference in what that dictionary says. Because the lawyers don't control those dictionaries. But that's what you got to do. You got to do research. I started out this morning going through, looking up the words in the process out here to try and find out what the word hire really meant. You think you know, but basically I wanted to confirm that I had the proper understanding of it. Well, I got started, and I was going down through there. Well, at first, I didn't even get the hire. I got the high. High, as stated, of things, not of persons. Tall and lofty, elevated, in reference to some other level. That which is common, open, public, such as a road, way, or navigable river, which used freely by the public. That means the highways are supposed to be used freely. Doesn't say anything about we can come out there and put a speed limit on this. Now, the next word that I went down through there after that was high binder. An old term for a member of a Chinese tong or society organized for blackmailing or murder or both. And these guys are operating in that type of scenario. The mob mentality or the mafiosa mentality of blackmailing you. Next item that I went into was himself or order, a phrase appended to the payee of an instrument, making the instrument negotiable. So on my draw, I put on there, pay to himself or order. Then I either put my bailor's name in there, or basically I put in the car dealership in there. I made that a negotiable instrument. They operate under hindering and delaying creditors. The Social Security Administration is still hindering and delaying my access to roughly about 40 months of payments that they owe me. Just because they want to mess with me and siphon off as much interest as they can for their beneficial side. And the employees that work there think that they're doing a damn good job. They don't realize that they're fucking with the country. They're committing an act of treason.
Where do they get the authority to even hold on to your money once you've come and claimed it? I'm talking about that Social Security money that they have been taking away from you. I mean, because I can go right here online.
Because you have placed it under a letter of credit, bailee, for hire, bailment. Read the definitions that I talked about last Sunday.
Yes, indeed. I'm all over it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and basically also about that alter purpose. Read the definition of alter purpose.
Yeah, but so
they hide things away, and you don't have the right to inspect the records. Why does the Federal Reserve get away with the government to look at the records like Ron Paul and those guys wanted to do? Because
so I mean, I went online straight to the Social Security Administration. Of course, I see the records of how much they've taken away. And so I'm like, wait a minute. So that's my money. If I say that that's in a special deposit account, that's my money. Plus, that Social Security card says that I'm authorized, as you've been saying.
It says you're the owner, yeah. But
so,
see, your bailor,
right,
placed it in a bailment for hire,
right,
okay?
Right.
Now you have to come in and you have to be standing as the sovereignty
Yes.
by claiming your letters patent, and you come in and revoke all of those letters patent.
Right.
See, until you revoke the letters patent, they can't do anything, and that is your right of expatriation.
Yes. And so, I feel like I'm right here in a position to be able to do that. No BSing. Everything that you're saying makes total sense. I mean, I started at Minnesota Rule 220. They spelled it out for you. Yo, just get your title, take ownership of your title, and it's yours, right? So then I ascended into the federal Constitution, and so it's a beautiful thing that I have crossed paths with you, because now I feel as though, hey, I have this title. I followed what you guys told me to do, and I did what you guys told me to do. So now I'm the owner. Now I just need to go in and follow these last steps to be able to completely, liquidate, take control of it, whatever, they want to call it. Just give me my stuff.
Yeah.
All I did was follow their rules.
You have to go about it in the right way.
Yes, sir.
You have to address the person out there as your bailor. You're the owner of that bailor, and he's under a letters patent.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
His name is under a letters patent.
Right.
Okay? And then the account number. Now, that's what you claim. Okay? You terminate, you revoke all letters of credit, and then you send this into the chief judge. So when you're doing this, you sign for the bailor, okay, his name, you sign his name. Now you have to sign your name as just first and middle.
So this is what I did.
And then you put your thumbprint, and then you emboss it.
So let me tell you what I did. I had an experience where I went into court, right? And I went in using the method of last name, comma, first name, middle. And when I went in, the judge didn't even say my name. He said the other party's name. And I was told that when I did that was going to happen, because I saw everyone else. He was calling everyone else's name. But when it came to my case, he didn't say my name, because I put it in, I did last name, comma, first name, middle, because that's the name on the birth record, right? The original birth record. So that showed them that I was private, and this wasn't even a big judge. This was just a regular commissioner, and he knew. So I'm wondering if the name formation may have something to do with it.
Well, it is. And see, basically, you've got to realize is that all these courts that they take you into are arbitration courts.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
The bailor is on one side, and the bailee for hire arbitration representative is on the other side. And then the judge, he is also in conflict of interest because he also has a bar card, but he's been elevated to a higher position in this arbitration. So basically, the deck is stacked against you in their court unless you understand that you have the total power in that court of arbitration, and that you can come in and revoke the letter of credit that is being contested.
Right. So you have, the key is that you, because, we're dealing with conflicts of law, right? I'm just, just drawing these hypotheticals. So I go in here and I'm presenting myself, and then they want to call conflict of law. So now we're dealing with jurisdictions, right? But you're saying
no, you don't argue jurisdiction. You're in arbitration.
Right.
Arbitrating here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I know we're not arguing that. I'm like kind of going
take all arbitration away when you revoke the letter of credit that is being contested here.
Right.
That's how simple it is.
Yes, indeed. And I see exactly what you're saying because, based on our position in the office that we're already in, we already have standing over them in the first place. We
have the office of being a sovereignty, but we're not to be seen. okay? But we're the owner of the bailor that did the hiring. Now, why are all of these cases criminal cases? You know why?
Well, I'm listening because I was just under the okay.
Hang on to
okay.
your hat.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay? Going into hire. Okay? To employ a person. Okay? Next thing after hire is hire or retain.
Right.
To engage the services of another, especially professional services, the phrase as used in a statute making it a criminal offense to hire or retain any person to go beyond the limits of the United States with the intent to be enlisted in a foreign military or naval service means to pay for service or to engage services, and the consideration need not be pecuniary or be paid at once. You basically, your bailor, when you issue a letter of credit,
right,
you are hiring the bailee to go out there and make money, go beyond the limits of the United States of America, and go into the corporate foreign jurisdiction.
Yep, I'm with you.
And basically make money for you.
And that's criminal.
So your bailor is a criminal. He has committed a criminal offense. The bailee hasn't. It's your bailor that's the criminal.
Okay, so because it's our bailor and it's not us, me, the living man, and I'm the owner of that, and so when I go in and I basically rescind all of those previous letters of credit,
you
then
revoke the letters of credit, you disavow any association with a foreign entity.
Gotcha.
That you are not placing that out there to be go into a foreign jurisdiction.
Yep, that's simple.
You are operating. You really wanted to operate per the Bible to where there was not supposed to be any usury in the money system.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go to the Quran too.
Yep. Seriously. And I put all that in the miscellaneous section of my non-UCC too.
The UCC, the only time you do a UCC is when you're going to place a commercial lien against somebody.
Yes, that's why I did it. I did a commercial lien, but it was a non-UCC, so it actually was a lien. It wasn't a notice, it was the lien, and I have substance to back that lien up, but I know everybody is trying to do it, but they don't really do their homework.
You cannot place a lien until you have gone through the right arbitration. Now, when they do not comply, then you have the right to place the commercial lien.
Yes.
But until you've done all your proper homework,
got to do your homework.
You do not have that right to place that commercial lien.
Yes. Yeah, I don't suggest anybody just go out there doing liens. Not at all. You got to do your research and your due diligence. But, it's your right to do so if you know what you're doing.
I've already placed some liens against these guys, and they have different things that they're being held up there because I turned around and sent IRS back on different things. But this time I'm coming in, and I'm going to come in loaded for bear, and I'm going to shut this all down. But I'm going to go to that chief judge this time and basically say, this is it. I've ordered, and now you are in violation of the 1868 Statute Expatriation Act. No government official has a right to detain you from your right of expatriation.
Can I ask you a question, Patrick? our certificate of live birth is private property, right?
No, that certificate of live birth that they have.
Okay, that they have.
Is
yes.
a document to go and get your letters patent. Okay, the letters patent just has your name and a patent number. But when the state, the Bureau of Vital Statistics, issues that letters patent or that certificate of live birth out, guess what they're doing? They're issuing it as a letter of credit.
Right, I'm with you, 100%.
It's going to have bonds and liens against it.
Right.
And you are making them the bailee. Because who is asking for that certificate of live birth? It's your bailor. Do you think they're going to give a certificate of live birth to just Patrick? Hell no. To verify that you're the bailor for the driver's license or some other letter of credit document already on file. Yeah, see, that's their game. It's all about letters of credit. You are recorded into the county land records.
Right.
You should be recorded into your family Bible.
Right.
Okay? That's all that you need to know your lineage, to go up the line, to claim inheritance from your grandmother or grandfather or whatever.
Yes, indeed.
You don't need to have a state certificate of live birth. You revoke that. You order them to terminate and remove those records from the Bureau of Vital Statistics, all issued. They've got a sequence. They know exactly how many letters of credit you have out there against your bailor.
Yeah. All right. So I know we were you spoke in the past weeks like going in a direction of like the Indians, right? And I totally understood what you were saying. So, you know, these Indian tribes, how do you think they're dealing with these letters of credit? Because we know that they're getting their inheritance. So, and we know that you're a Native American, so you should be getting the same thing. So they are
getting some entitlements from the Bureau of Indian Affairs, okay?
Right.
But there again, in a lot of cases, most all of them are still under letters of credit in that Indian area.
Right.
Okay? Because they're still on the reservation and they haven't, they may get some things, like some people out here in the system, they get, do a 1099 OID, get $100,000 or something like that and think they've got the system beat.
Right.
Just because they got one and then turn around 2 years later and the IRS is all over their ass. And they end up in jail.
Let me say this. I went in about 2006 from Pennsylvania, naturally, and I was working at the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, and my job was handling the checks. So I handled the checks that came in from all the banks, and then in the afternoon I handled the treasury check. So I actually saw the treasury checks that were going out, and those names were like, you know, your typical Indian type name, you know, Tomahawk and all that type of stuff, right? So I actually saw it. So I'm like, now I'm in the position, like, okay, I need to be getting those same checks. You see what I'm saying?
No, you don't get it you don't get it from the Federal Reserve.
Well, these were treasury checks, though.
Yeah, okay.
Because we know they are mixed in together.
Yeah. But see,
you know,
there's still two different sides of a treasury.
Yes, indeed.
There's the de facto and then there's the de jure side of a treasury.
Right.
Okay?
But isn't that those
the
treasury checks?
Department and the Department of the Treasury.
Right.
One is constitutional. One is these fraudulent statutes that they passed.
Okay, so when we get our returns back, right, and we get these treasury checks, that's not coming from the de jure side. And the only reason why I say that, is because when I look up law, I'm just thinking on the lawful money side. and I'm staying on course with us. You know, we just trying to end the game so we can be done with this, right? You know, I'm just thinking on the lawful money side, right? Those treasury checks is still lawful money on the de jure side because that's what they say they are. They say that it's not gold or silver. It's just the fact that that's a part of lawful money, those treasury checks. So if we're getting those treasury checks, as we should be getting, even when we complete this process, we should be getting those. Why aren't we getting them now? You see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get there. I'm trying to get to that point.
I'm going to ask you one simple question.
Yes, sir.
Those treasury checks, do you think you're getting, are they tax-free?
It depends on who is endorsing it.
No, now you're
and
playing.
How you endorse it. And that's using their codes. Their own codes tell them they can't that they can't levy that. And that's not my opinion. That's what they said. So why would they come after you for something and they told you that they can't tax you? They also told you in their own IRS code that if they send you a letter requesting taxes, all you got to do is send them a letter back saying this doesn't apply to me. They say that in their own codes. So I'm not making that up. That's them. So I'm not even being belligerent to them. I'm just doing what they told me to do. So that's why I'm just trying to say I'm not afraid of them trying to come and tax me or none of that. I just want to know where's my check. And following your process, that's where I'm trying to get to. I just had some questions because I'm trying to build it up in my head, you know?
I think we lost him for a minute.
Okay. I hope nobody, when we crazies and, drop this call, listening to this call.
Oh, no. I think they're cheering us on, hoping that we actually get this.
I think so too. I don't really think negative about it. I think they do want the people to, be competent and be able to handle their own affairs. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm. Especially now that the security is going into place.
Exactly.
But I think you should listen to Patrick a little more carefully. I see that you're trying to mix it in his process in with what you're doing, and I think you'd be better shape to try to see what his process is before you try to fit yours to it.
Okay, Tom,
no.
I'm back on.
I see Patrick's process, and it's completely separate. I'm not trying to change anything from it because it's very simple. It's so simple it's ridiculous.
Let's get back to where I left off. Okay. Those treasury checks that you were talking about.
Yes.
Are they taxable? The answer is yes.
Okay.
The state can even come in and place a tax lien against them. So that is not de jure lawful money. When you get out and you have access to the Treasury, okay, under your letters patent, and you go through the conversion of $1 silver out of a Treasury into asset-backed dollars of currency of exchange, okay, that cannot be taxed because that now becomes lawful asset-backed currency. All of those treasury checks that everybody thinks they're getting, they're still debt-based treasury checks. Because if they were real lawful money, nobody could tax them.
So if I deposit that treasury check into a private trust, can they still tax it?
There is no trust, okay? You stay away from trust, okay?
No, I'm saying if I created my own trust.
You basically create an enterprise or an estate, a private estate or a private enterprise. You do not create a trust because in a trust you have to have somebody else handling your money for you. And you never trust anybody. That's called out in the Bible I don't know how many times over. You never give somebody else your money because it will gold in somebody else's hand basically it will rub, and basically they will say, well, he hasn't claimed it here for a year and a half, so basically I need to have this. My wife needs this operation, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll repay it back. Well, lo and behold, they can't repay it back later on, and basically you have placed them and you have tempted another god. And it says, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
Well, I mean,
people don't understand how the Bible has told us all of this shit.
Well, and I'm not even arguing that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know how everybody else does their trust. The way I'm doing my trust is a family trust. So, you know, I know people say you can't even trust your family, but it's like,
that's right.
I don't know.
That's the last place I would trust.
Man, but, you know, but I understand the estate part, too, because I do have an estate as well. So I definitely see where you're coming from.
You either set up a private enterprise, and the two things that the government cannot touch is a private enterprise or a private estate.
Okay.
They cannot touch those, but they can touch any trust that's out there.
Okay.
No matter what that trust it is, they can lien on the person that's the trustee. And that's their game. Like even in your family. Okay? I don't know how you are, but basically, my family, I'm the only one that's trying to understand this thing, and basically, right. I'm the badass.
I hear you. You know, it's kind of that way with mine too, but you know, they're starting to come along. But I totally know what you're talking about. You know, they don't have that same mental capacity as you. That might hurt you in the long run. But you know. I know what you mean.
They'll run from you just like what happened with Jesus.
Right.
Everybody deserted him when he went into court.
True. So true.
Yeah. But we're followers of Jesus. We're going to stick right by him. And that's what basically all these damn Christians out here. Yeah, we're followers of Jesus, but they've abandoned him and all his teachings. Because they don't understand his teachings, and boy, they're too damn hard to understand. So basically, but I'm a follower of him. Fucking liars.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get to the finish line like you, Patrick. You know.
I'm at the finish line, okay?
Yes,
we
indeed.
Just have to come in and we have to claim our letters patent. And that is basically our royal letters patent.
Yep, I can see it clear as day.
Because we are the sovereignty of the land. And the government could not issue that letters patent. It had to be basically authorized by the land. That you were born from the land, and that's why you had to have that certificate of live birth showing that you were born from the land.
Because everything that's on the land
has
to be recorded. It's a record, right? It has to be recorded.
Record.
Exactly, yeah, because everything on the land has to be recorded, right?
But it's a land record, and that's why it turned around, and it's a royal letters patent. Because you came from the sovereign of the country, the land. So when it comes from the sovereign to you as a sovereignty for this letters patent, then basically it is a royal letters patent. It's a royal grant. Read the definitions in Ballantyne's dictionary about letters patent.
And that's why we're a prince, right?
And see, the government does not have the authority. They only had to verify the land record that was submitted to them. And then they issued it out roughly on your 1-year birth date, making it a royal inheritance, because a royal inheritance can only be given after a child is 1 year of age. So you didn't get a letter patent when you were born into your mother's arms after 9 months in the hopper. Your lawful letters of patent, your royal letters of patent, or just letters patent, basically comes about when you were 1 year of age. 9 months in the hopper, 3 months out, and then you're 1 year old. And they had to set up, and they had to put a last name for a bailor, because all fictions have to have a last name. They can't have a living name, because they're a fiction. So, basically about the only other special thing was I'm going to the federal district clerk of the court, staying away from the bankruptcy clerk of the court, and then I'm making this a U.S. certified mail depositing per the certificate of mail number in gratuitous trust, not in a trust, but in gratuitous trust with the clerk of the court, or to be directed to the U.S. Treasury Exchange Office for this federal district courthouse. And that would be basically the federal district courthouse bank CFO. And the special letters patent document is based upon my U.S. patent bailor's registered, confirmed, and irrevocable U.S. letters patent name of, in my case, Patrick Devine, having unlimited patent drawing rights to the United States of America Treasury depositary, and depositary is all capital, because it's a grave. All of those assets in there are dead. They're not in a state of movement. So they're dead. We have to come along and resurrect them into the living. We have to put life into them and put them into circulation. All of this stuff is basically, if you just sort of look how a bank operates. You place your money into the bank. Now it's a dead account. There's money in it, but it's dead because it's just sitting there. But in most cases, you have gone out there, like for your savings account, and you have handed it over to a bailee for hire, and they're writing bonds against it, so they've got interest coming back in. Very little. You're getting screwed in the damn process. You just don't realize it. Oh, yeah, I've got to have that damn savings account. Yeah, shit. Could have saved it better putting it in the backyard. And then in the process, we authorize, there's 3 items that basically this draw can be processed for. 1, provide advance money for the bailor's owner's private usage and purchases. 2, make payments to a third person or corporation. And 3, reimbursements to the owner for his out-of-pocket expenses per submitted receipts. Those are basically the 3 items that you would do under a letters patent, under this draw. Now, in the process, the just exchange processing fees are authorized by this document to be deducted using a just compensation reduced conversion from the U.S. Treasury depository assets into the lawful U.S. debt-free dollars of exchange. Right now, the conversion ratio is sitting at 17-1. To cover the fees, they would take out, say, like 1.5 away from it. So you would be getting, say, 15.5 to 1 conversion. They're holding the 1.5. It's lawful money in their hands, too. You're getting lawful money that cannot be taxed. When you make it to a third party, they're getting lawful money. You have to notify them that, hey, you're getting lawful money. You really don't have to pay taxes on this. So set it aside somewhere, and basically you don't have to even report it. You only have to report the debt money. You don't have to report lawful money. When you come out of the system. Nobody needs to know what the shit you got. Everybody thought that all those founding fathers were dead broke. A lot of them. No. They just didn't have to report everything that they had. Now, some of them gave just about everything they had, like George Washington. He gave and gave and gave because he was trying to look forward to helping the next generation. And basically a lot of the so-called people that basically have been glorified, like Alexander Hamilton, it was basically a banking trader to the country by getting that first national bank in place. And that's what pissed off Aaron Burr. And that's why they had their duel. See, you've got to look at all the rest of the story. You never hear the whole story from all these gurus and everything out here. You never do. And yet people run with what they say, thinking that they know what the shit they're doing. Like WS out west there. Basically, he couldn't tell the damn truth if his heart depended on it. And he hasn't done a damn bit of what he's out there getting paid in his highfalutin seminars to do. He's just using the people. And then some of these other guys, like, run around. David Wynn Miller, claiming to be a judge. I don't know what type of judge he is, but basically if he knew anything about being a judge, he would know a hell of a lot more about this shit than what he's talking about. He's got you going all about these, well, it's all these type words here. Preposition, pronoun, all that garbage.
Adverbs.
Yeah. He's a bullshit artist.
Mm-hmm.
200 IQ. Bullshit. He's just a damn con artist. And that's the way 90% of these guys are out here. Even half the politicians, like Ron Paul. He couldn't read the damn Constitution if his life depended upon it. Because he cannot be in office right now because he's in violation of the Constitution. And yet he claims to be a full supporter of the Constitution. You can't run for office while you are an inhabitant of the office. That was in the Constitution there to prevent the bankers from controlling these guys of being in there for 30-some odd years. But you get this in, basically then you turn around and I'm going to send out new faxes, but I'm also going to send out letters, certified letters to these guys, because in a lot of cases they should be operating with faxes, but they don't. So I'm going to back them up, especially that chief judge. Then I've got a certified deposit, and I'll make that noted in that letter that I write to him, that this is a certified deposit, this letter, and it will be used on a UCC-1 against him if he does not comply. You have to have your supportive information, your supportive document of why you can make that UCC-1 lien against, a commercial lien against these guys, and get them under a certified deposit breach of contract. You can't punish a servant just by word of mouth order. You have to make it in writing. And that's been substantiated in a lot of cases, court cases. Unless you have it in writing, you ain't going nowhere. Word of mouth does not cut it. And they use that implied thing. Well, it was implied to me that all I had to do was this. But once you put it in writing, the implied goes away. We in the living, we do not use implied contracts. They're an abomination. Only the devil used something that claims to be implied. And then when you know who you are and have the power over them, you can terminate any of those items. But you have to get the right title in place of who you are and who you're coming in and doing the arbitration in a court for. See, BAR stands for Bailey for Hire Arbitration Representative. And they're representing, in a lot of cases, the state of wherever, who is the Bailey. The corporation is the Bailey. And then the chief Bailey for the state is the secretary of the state, because they're the keeper of the seals. And they sealed almost every document that you have out there, your certificate of title to your vehicle, your voter registration, your driver's license, your fishing license, your hunting license, whatever. The secretaries of the state working for the commercial state corporation, the all-capital one, they are the evil witches that were in The Wizard of Oz. And all the other stories that basically tried to lay the groundwork for all this stuff that's going on. Those stories were metaphors of how the banking system operates. The dragons out there that were sitting over the pile of gold in the Hobbits, claiming that all the gold belonged to them. The gold don't belong to them. The gold belongs to the people. It came from the ground, and everything that comes from the ground really belongs to the people. It don't belong to no stinking damn corporation. Because corporations can't own anything. They can only claim and then basically try and intimidate, but that's all they can do. And when you pull the curtain away, they disappear. When you expose them under the true fraud and basically are able to place a contract into their hands, deposited into their hands, that is a valid contract under a special deposit, under this certified mail deposit. You don't need to do the registered mailing. You do a certified mailing. That's why there's 20 numbers on that certified mail. Shit, you can basically cover just about anything out there with that amount of numbers, combination of numbers. But on a registered mail, there's only 9 digits. And then they have like U.S. and the others behind them. So basically they try and go to 14. Or that'd be 13. 2 in front, 2 behind, 13. They're trying to claim the number of man in the process, which is 13. Well, the number of man and his God is 13. 12 for man and 1 for his spirit, his God spirit, his Godhead. Okay, I've rambled enough, bitched enough. Now, you guys got any rebuttals or anything or any questions about the documents that I've had Tom post up there in the past several days of why we need to do this or anything along that lines? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well, it was pretty apparent to me, especially after you briefed me this morning on that. I went back through them again, and I see why we're doing this. It's actually it's the same process, but by clarifying the terms, it really gives strength to it.
Yeah. See, in the du jour site, you can't use letters of credit.
So that we won't be able to issue the letter of credit to the utilities we were talking about. We just pay them the cash. You
can basically take cash out and go and deposit with them, and then say when that runs out, let me know, and I will give you some more.
Right.
Like what I said years ago. When we come out of a system, that's how we'll do it. And we don't care what they do with that money after we give it to them, because we'll have that amount of services already prepaid.
Right.
They owe that to us, so basically, when we get the bill, we just subtract that from what we had on deposit. If they want to go out and put it into the system and make 10% off it, more power to them. It's theirs now. If they lose it, they lose it. But we still get the credit or the services, that amount of services, because it's prepaid. They can't double bill us. That's when you're operating in the du jour. But you don't give them a letter of credit to set up an account in that regards. When you sign that, and see, that's what they're doing, the same thing. They're getting access to your funds. They go and write bonds against it because, like I said, a corporation has to zero their books at the end of the year. They have to borrow money to start up the next year. So who do they borrow the money from? Their customers for their letters of credit that are on file. Then they owe that back to you, and that's why all of these bills are really essentially bills of credit. You just have to turn around and resubmit them back to them and say, I am resubmitting this back to you for settlement and set-off, because this is a bill of credit. It's not a payment bill for your usage of my assets under the letter of credit that I have on file.
Gilbert, do you see then how Patrick's usages of the UCC is different from what you were proposing?
I don't know. Is there anybody else left on the call? Did we scare them all off?
No, we didn't scare them all off. It's still the same number here. People keep dropping
Clear.
it in and out. You like it then? Okay. Yeah, Patrick's free conferencing does have problems, and some people drop off and come right back in.
Mm-hmm.
No, I hear everything you're saying, Patrick. You know, I just absorb it, and you know, it's just more or less me trying to challenge myself so I can, you know, understand everything I'm doing. You know, so I ask questions just so that I have all the bases covered.
Well, don't sit on your thumbs too long, because you haven't got that much time to get out of this damn system.
Very true.
If you're going to come out.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be marked as a debtor down the road, and basically you're going to be free game to be annihilated.
So, Patrick, I have a question for you regarding, I guess it's the third paragraph down about in maritime monetary arbitration of exchange process. I like that you changed that. I see the difference here, and I like that we're going under arbitration. And from the research I've been doing, unilateral, or however you pronounce that, like you said, your arbitration letter needs to be in writing, and this is, in fact, an arbitration process. And so I guess I wanted you to tell me, from what I've looked up, an arbiter is neither a judge nor a court. So my issue this last week in researching has been to find the jurisdiction in my mind for seeking an arbiter. So can you say more about that?
Okay, you're talking about a court case, right?
Well, I'm talking about your document here that I'm definitely interested in sending in, the letter of credit in honor. Okay,
that is being changed. We do not send any letters of credit in, okay?
Okay, this is the last one.
The new title to it is U.S. Patent Bailor's Special Letters Patent Document.
Oh, hold on. I don't have that one. Let me...
That's right, because I haven't given it to Tom to post yet.
Okay.
You'll have that tomorrow.
All right, perfect. So let me go on those lines, though, still, because I've still been doing my research this week, because I've been guided to this salvage award fits under the maritime arbiter office.
We're not going to be operating in maritime. That's the beauty of this. When we operate under letters patent, we're operating under the de jure, and we will not be operating under maritime monetary system. Okay?
Yeah, so letters patent is, so letters patent is considered you said royal?
Yes. When you look up the definition in Ballantyne's dictionary, okay, letters patent, second sentence, okay, a letters patent is issued either as a royal or governmental grant.
Yes. Okay. Grant,
now,
definitely.
We know the government cannot issue this to us as a letters patent.
Correct.
Because they're under us, and how could a sub-person or a sub-entity issue something to a superior entity?
Right.
Okay? So the only superior entity that we have is the land, is the nation.
Yes.
Okay? And that's the sovereign. And then we are the sovereignty of the land because we are land that is upon the land.
Yeah. We are land, air, and sea, actually, and ether. we're the kingdom.
No, you don't need to go that far. Just stick to land, okay?
Right. Land patent. So letters
throw too much shit in there, and basically then you confuse the issue, okay?
Right.
That's the problem, that too many people go into court. They continue to open their mouth. They should be saying about 2 or 3 words, and they shut up.
Yeah.
I'm coming in as the owner of the bailor in this arbitration.
Yeah.
And basically, as the owner of the bailor, I am his authorized representative, and basically, as his authorized representative, I order and revoke this letter of credit that is in contest here. Therefore, by revoking that, basically, I just liquidated the bailee. The person is sitting over there on the other side of the fence. Now, since this is a letter of credit, there's a bailment that's associated with it. And all assets that are held in that bailment now have to come back to me as the owner. Case closed. I'll pick my check up tomorrow.
That was a perfect breakdown, Patrick.
Yep, beautiful.
It's that simple.
Yep.
But see, people go in there and they argue law, they argue codes, they argue everything but what needs to be argued, And see, this Arbitration Act was set up in 1925, I think it was. Okay? I didn't have that volume of statutes at large on my disk. I know I had it downloaded somewhere, but it's not on my computer. But it was 1925, thereabouts, that Arbitration Act went into place. Now, it did not go into place into the court scenario for all court cases until about 1938, when they revamped the court system in this country, making everything an arbitration between a bailor scenario. The bailor, who has basically been the hirer, okay, hire and retain person, to hire and retain a bailee for hire to go into this foreign jurisdiction outside the boundaries of the United States of America, this foreign monetary banking system. And see, that's what the Expatriation Act was all about. It was not to expatriate yourself from the country. What was going on in Lincoln's time? It was the bankers that were basically trying to cause havoc. Lincoln was trying to prevent, just like Andrew Jackson shut down the banks for 30-some-odd years. Lincoln was trying to give the same protections to the people, but the people didn't see what the hell he just did for them. Him and his Secretary of State. And they both got shot. It wasn't just Lincoln that got shot that night. His Secretary of State also got killed. See, there's a lot of history that people don't realize that's out there. History is a gold mine if you research it in the proper respects. And don't listen to what the news media says, because the news media will always screw it up.
That's their job.
Patrick, can you tell me the Arbitration Act again that you spoke of, please?
It's just the Arbitration Act.
Okay.
And it was somewhere in the volume that covers 1925.
Okay.
So if you do a word search, you pull up that, download that volume of statutes, okay, and get it in the PDF, and then do a word search just for arbitration, you should come up with it.
Okay.
I went through several other statutes just typing the word arbitration in there, and that's how I found where that Arbitration Act, what year it was initiated out there.
Give me the year again one more time, because I'm typing up.
1925.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. I've got the site here, Patrick. It's Federal Arbitration Act, enacted February 12th, 1925, codified at 10 U.S.C. Section 1 and the following.
Yeah, see, that's under the codes.
Yes.
Codified.
43 Stat 883.
Yeah, see, it's a code.
Right.
So it was put into the commercial system of arbitration. In a bailee-bailor scenario. It wasn't in the de jure side of operating out here.
Okay.
And see, a bailor does not have to give a bailment out here. He doesn't have to give anything to a bailee, but he can still be a bailor.
Well, yeah. There's.
He has that power to be a bailor.
And
Just like a settler and a grantor, which is why this is a grant.
But he was not the grantor.
No,
No.
no.
We basically are the grantee, okay?
Oh, and
the
God's the
sovereignty,
grantor.
the grantee,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
The sovereign, the land, because gold and silver is from the land also, okay? So the sovereign granted us access to other lands, gold and silver. So we, the living, are the grantee, but we turned it over to our fictional person who became a bailor.
Yeah.
He's not a grantor or anything like that. So about the only term that I could come up with for what he is a bailor. But he doesn't have to make a bailment to be a bailor. Yeah, we don't have to create a bailee.
Right, because we're dealing in real property.
Yeah.
So we're dealing in reality, not fiction.
Yeah. He's a bailor without any bailments.
Talk about settling a matter.
So like Nathan Nathaniels or whatever his name was, the man with no country.
Yeah.
We got a bailor with no bailments.
Well, and I'm just really looking at how we're moving away from that whole usury construct. And a bail is a frickin' pledge, okay? We have to rescue ourselves here.
Yeah, and that's why I tried to put out that document, that flow chart, to make the flow to show you. And basically, I could have made that first page of that flow chart. I could have gone 3 or 4 more pages and made it as complicated as hell. It was complicated enough the way it was. But, yeah, I could have gone in there and thrown more shit into the damn game of what everybody's doing wrong. All the other tax forms and different things that basically, when you're in the commercial endeavor, you're tied into. And how they totally deceive you.
Yep.
And you never know what's in the accounts. Because they're controlling them. And then if they control the account, they control you. That's all that these people really want, even the Rothschilds. It's not about money. It's about control and power. What Nathan or Nathaniel Rothschild say? I care not who writes the laws. I want to control the purse, the account. I control the account. I control everybody else.
Well, and maritime and admiralty controls the water, doesn't it?
Fraudulently, yes.
Yep.
Unless you're Captain Jack Sparrow, and then basically you can run amok. Because he's got the black pearl.
I'm looking forward to this document. So, you heard you mention tonight that you're not going to be going to the bankruptcy court. You're actually going to now the district court where you're
going to the other side of the aisle, okay? The de jure side, clerk of the court. And you're putting them into the de jure capacity when you're going to them. And you're coming in, and on the outside of your envelope, you mark this as a U.S. patent document.
Yeah. Now, so what's the name of the court that you're going to have that you're issuing this to?
No court.
Okay,
This
good.
is the Federal District Court.
Okay.
And it's the clerk of the court for that district court. It's the clerk of the court that's in the courthouse, the federal courthouse.
So is
Right.
it a court record? Is that a court record then?
Where the chief
No,
judge is.
just the clerk of the court in that federal courthouse.
Right. Find the courthouse.
Not the bankruptcy courthouse, but the federal courthouse.
Right. Find the court where the chief judge is and send it to his clerk.
You find your federal district
Right.
courthouse.
Yeah, the one you talked about earlier that has the 3 digits for our county.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
The one that you're living in.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay. All right.
That's the jurisdiction you're in. You're a resident in this district.
Yes.
Okay.
This is getting easier, Patrick. What's going on?
That's what I've been trying to say. It is easy once you start understanding and understand the words and everything. Then it makes all the sense in the world. And then when you understand the Bible, it was all right there in the Bible. Because, see, when we do this conversion reduction, that is the 10% tithing that was taking place back in Moses' time.
Yep.
They brought their letters patent in, and then basically to process their letters patent, the processors were given a 10% processing fee because they were not entitled to go out and have their accounts. Were they?
No.
They were the temple people. They did not get shares of the land.
Right.
Until they left office. Then when they left temple service, then they were able to get their lawful inheritance. And see, that means that most of those people that are in that temple service, they ain't the smartest people in the world. I mean, who is smarter? All those people that were in the temple or Jesus?
Right. Jesus understood jurisdiction big time.
It was Jesus, basically, when he understood the system, or the man Emmanuel, however you want to look at it. And then since he knew the system, they could not override the system. Because they had to comply with the system.
And now he was a threat because he was with the knowledge.
But the Romans took care of that later on. They came in and annihilated all the nitwits that stayed right there in Jerusalem operating in that debt money system. And then it wasn't resurrected again and basically found out what was going on until the Knights Templars came and dug up the research, the history of what took place. and found their stash of gold that they'd buried underground there, and then they took it out, and then they tried to use it against the monarchs in the European theater that were operating with the Church of Rome until they got it over into Scotland and Ireland and brought it over to America on 29 ships in about 12-something A.D. And see, that's fully substantiated and documented in the first National Treasure movie. And see, that's a documentary. You can reference movies in a court action. Why would you want to reference a code when you don't understand the codes that they've written?
Then we need to reference Jupiter Ascending, because that's all about inheritance and titles. It's ridiculous how much of truth they're showing in that movie. Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah, and basically, even the Matrix. What did Neo have to do? How did he go? He had to go to the source. And he had to put himself into the source, or into this person, okay, Mr. Smith, to destroy Mr. Smith from inside out. And see, that's what we're doing. When you go in, and basically you come in and you destroy, you liquidate the Baileys.
Yep. Literally.
By revoking the letters of contract, or letters of credit. Because if they do not have a letter of credit, there's no need for a Bailey.
It's interesting you said inside out, because we get out from the inside. That's
right.
Perfect.
So, okay. So you have here, I like this language because it helps me look this up and research it. I don't know if it's on your latest document, but I just want to confer with you. Arbitration Act you have here, and in that definition it says...
That Arbitration Act is not going in this document.
Okay, all right, good. So I'll cancel that.
That's only for a court case if you have a court case
got it. Okay,
that you're dealing with. Okay?
Perfect. So you are still calling it a, hold on, bill of exchange, or is that dissolving too, the bill of exchange?
No. I haven't used bill of exchange in quite a while.
Okay, it says arbitration of exchange, the payment in one country by a bill of exchange drawn upon a party. So it's in your definitions. That's why I was referring to it.
Yeah, but see, I'm not using all the stuff in all those definitions. I referenced those definitions to try and see where we are in the process.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, that's what you've got to look at. You've got to read between the lines in a lot of those definitions. Okay, that's one of the key things, is being able to read between the lines, like in the movie Blonde Ambition. 3 places it's brought out in that movie. Read between the lines. 1/3 way through the movie, 2/3 way through the movie, and at the very end of the movie. 3 times. So when something is stated 3 times, that is very important. That's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
See, every story or every play or whatever, they have to have a moral issue in the story. No matter how bad the movie is, there's always a moral in the story.
The Lego movie, which would appear to be a child's story, it actually has the process in it as well. And the moral to that story was follow the instructions.
Yeah. How about start with read the instructions, okay? Then follow them. So many people don't read.
Yes.
Well, is that right?
That's in
So
numerous movies.
I'm looking forward to this document, Patrick. I'm like the horse behind the, stall getting ready. Just
Try and get a good night's sleep. I hope I ruined the rest of your night.
I so appreciate all of your work, all of your service, Patrick. I have been listening in for years.
Yeah, I just wish I could get some of these judges and everything to really listen to. But I sent out several draws yesterday, and I'm going to have to go into the bankruptcy court and revoke or void those all out. I'm going to have to void out or revoke the 2 letters of credit that I gave to the bankruptcy clerk of the court because they're wrong. And then I'm going to have to go to the Inspector General and to the U.S. trustee back and basically restate this, that I am revoking all, and even those ones that I submitted and sent to them I sent, tell them I revoked them, and then I'm coming in to claim my letters patent for my special letters patent document.
Yep.
I could have put the word claim in there, but basically we've already got it. I'm just making this a special letters patent document to be placed on deposit as a special deposit bailment. And I'm only placing it as a bailment, not with them as a true bailee in the process, but they are a processor, so they do have a bailee's capacity, a gratuitous bailee's capacity in that regards. They're not going to get paid. The only thing they're going to get out of this is basically the authorized processing fees.
And
I'm not going to pay a salary to them.
Yeah, they're also going to have one less dead person to have to manage.
Yeah, they don't have to manage anything, okay?
Right.
I'll manage it.
That's right.
They just have to process.
Yep. I wouldn't want their job.
I don't think I could be that damn stupid. That's why I'd never had their job.
You really have to be operating at a particular level of consciousness.
Yeah, you have to operate at a level that basically you do not want to learn the truth.
Right.
You only want to believe the lie.
Right. And that's
the way 99% of the people in this country, they will believe the lie, just like Goebbels said. Tell a lie often enough, and basically the people will believe anything.
So, can I go back to when you said depositary, can you say more about your intention to deposit? I can't remember what you said.
We're doing
exactly.
a certified mail depositing of this document under a certified mail number.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
perfect.
that's it. We're doing a certified depositing.
Yep.
Okay, that's just nothing more than that. It's a special deposit. It's a certified mail deposit. That's a special deposit.
And who's it? And is it coming? Am I mailing it to myself?
You send this to the clerk of the court.
Okay, got it.
And then you have the certified mail deposit number.
Got it. Booyah!
You're numbering them. They are not numbering you.
Yes. Flipping the triangle.
They're the servant. and basically all servants are numbered.
Yep. Right. Wow.
The master don't number himself.
He just records. You know, we keep records, but that's it.
We just kick ass.
Yeah. Okay.
And see, that's a good little middle teen stories, is the kick ass 1 and 2. Never stop learning, okay? Stay as young as you can. Cartoons, basically they're telling the little children. The little children can comprehend this better than an adult that's been polluted and gone through college.
Yeah.
Because most all people that have gone through college are just college-educated idiots.
They built a cell. They built a cell, a jail cell.
They may be good at one thing, but that's one thing ain't going to help them live their life the way their life should be lived. They're in a controlled environment. They're only doing one item. And basically, the human mind and everything is supposed to be multitask.
As a child, child gets bored or doesn't like something, goes off and does another task, and then another task, and 10 tasks in 5 minutes sometimes.
Okay, let's don't get too far off track here. Okay, anybody got any other questions about these documents? Okay, hang loose. Wait until tomorrow. Go ahead.
Thank you, Patrick. Well, we're ready for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay. Was there somebody that had a question?
Doesn't look like that.
Okay. We'll catch you tomorrow or
okay,
whatever
good.
down the road.
Okay.
If you want to call me, because and if I've talked to you in the past, I don't have. If you want to talk to me, you need to call me because I don't have all your phone numbers. My phone, basically screen, is down. I can't. The numbers that I had in the past, I can't access them unless I might find a sticker or something like that I had it recorded on. I might be able to find your number, but basically I'm so busy trying to do other things and to try and go through all the damn papers that I've got sitting all over the place. So if you want to talk to me, you call me and give me your phone number, or if you want me to call you back for anything, and I'll try and record it until basically I get a new phone or whatever. That I don't need one right now because I can call in and out on this phone, and it's just a little aggravating, but I can put up with that.
I can give out your phone. I'll give out your phone number, Patrick.
Huh?
I should give out your phone number now then, okay?
Okay.
641-541-0035. Anyone need it again?
It's on all the documents, or most of them.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Perfect.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
We'll
Thank
catch you later. Okay.
Sure.
Good night.
Good. Bye.